along very well, and it got to the point to where he didn't really want he didn't really want me on job sites anymore, because I have a commercial driver's license, so I can drive big trucks. He's got a few of them. So he was just having me drive his big trucks, which was all well and good, but I don't like driving trucks.
Yeah.
Down here in Dallas, it's awful. And then I asked to be reassigned to the job sites, and so I was doing like half and half, and half job sites, half hauling materials to the plant. And I was doing really good at it, but I mean, it was kicking my ass, man. It's kind of like what you said when you did that Social Security thing.
Oh yeah.
You could do, you could do the job, but it just beats the shit out of you.
I couldn't do where I was working in the culinary arts and in the restaurants for all them years.
Yeah.
There's no way I could do an 8-hour shift in a busy restaurant, and I would have to come home and recover. My back would be hurt,
Right.
my knees, my head, everything.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And it was because of my back. They found the problem was in my back, though.
Well, yeah, I got a lot of the same similar problems to my back that you have. I've got degenerative disc disease. I've got 6 herniated discs. I've got a ripped linear.
So I don't know how you do. I don't know how you just would. I got 2 herniated discs, and I know how bad they hurt.
Oh my God, yes.
I had the impinged. I had 2 surgeries with the impinged nerves all over the place. But I got the arthritis, the osteoarthritis all over it too.
Well, I've got rheumatoid.
Yeah,
Mr. St.John.
Wow.
And it's in my hands, it's in my knees, it's in my hips. Kind of like you. I mean, I struggle just like you do. And there for a while, I was on a cane. And
for a while. Yep, me too. Almost about a year.
My brother, he was starting to be a dick about things, and we just basically have personality clashes. I mean, we're 2 different kinds of people, and we're nothing alike, and and then the place is, I rented the one house from him, and I mean, he's got my rent up to $2,000 a month, and nothing in the fucking place works. The roof's leaking, AC breaks down every other week. There's no dishwasher. No.
That's a lot. That's a lot for stuff that isn't working.
Yeah, and I kept asking him, like, come on, man, we gotta get this shit fixed. I said, I'll help replace it labor free, but I'm not gonna buy it. And book that, and then I was telling him about the dishwasher. He goes, well, if Bonnie don't like it, then you tell her to start fucking washing dishes then, or go buy a dishwasher.
That's not very nice.
No, the guy's an asshole, Mr. St.John. A classic sociopath and narcissist. Classic.
I never knew I never knew you had issues with your brother.
Oh, we always have, off and on over the years, and
but
it was getting.
I don't know.
And his sons, well, his one son's in prison. I told you about that. The other son, he's a real jerk off, man. He really is. He fucking, he does shrooms, cocaine, crack cocaine. He fucking smokes. Oh my God. I mean, he's a wreck. And pills, but yet he wants to talk about everybody on a job site. I could smell alcohol on you from there. He didn't say it to me. He said a lot of the other guys, and then he started making up shit about me. It is true. I do drink, but I don't do anything else.
You're grown.
I'm 51 years old, Mr. St.John.
Yeah.
I've never had a DUI in my life. I don't go out and get in trouble. I mean, I haven't had. Well.
Yeah, I don't drink anymore though. I haven't
good, Mr. St.John.
I haven't had a beer for, man, I can't even remember. I quit that years ago, man. I don't drink. I don't like it. I don't want to be around it.
Well, hangovers are no fucking fun. I try to avoid that at all costs. That shit hurts. When you start getting older, that shit hurts bad, Mr. St. John. But anyway, and it just got to the point, where he wasn't hardly working me anymore, and I wasn't making any money, and the company that Bonnie works for, Bonnie gets along real good with her boss. They're kind of like buddies, and I threw a birdie in her ear one day. I said, "See if your boss will give me a job on days my brother's not gonna work me. Give me something to do. I can't just fucking sit around here, 'cause I'll go crazy." And sure enough, she wanted to hire me, and I was on my off days, I'd go work for her. Well, they kept saying, "Hey, I give you this, I can give you more, I can give you more and more hours." And finally, me and Bonnie, we just got sick of it, and I just, I told Bonnie, it's time to go.
Well,
Because it's, I'm not going to keep going through this. They were bothering the hell out of Bonnie and lying to my parents and all kinds of shit. And so, and my parents are old, Mr. St. John, and my mother is in very bad health. And, I don't like it when people upset my mother, but, somehow or other, Anna and Steve were able to find my mother's email. I don't know how the fuck they pulled that off.
wow.
But they did. And they sent my mother. What, Bonnie?
I have a feeling I know.
How?
She probably looked on my Facebook, saw the Prater last name, assumed it was your mom, and then she probably has her email associated with her Facebook. And she that.
I didn't think about that. Well, yeah, she sent my mom all this shit that I was trying to have sex with her sister, and that I'm a pill addict. With Anna's sister.
Oh,
You think
God.
Anna's disgusting? You ought to see her sister.
You wouldn't disrespect Bonnie that way.
No, I got better things to do, Mr. St. John.
Well,
Really, I do.
I know from over the years of talking to you how much that you are there for Bonnie. You're a typical man. We talk about man shit, but I can't see
but
I can't see you even being flirty towards anybody else.
no, I'm too old to play games like that. But anyway, send my 75-year-old mother that shit, and horrible shit, and 99% of it's not even true. And my mother's calling me up, freaking out on me. Who's this Anna Sullivan?
Oh, God.
Oh yeah,
That's real life.
yeah.
That's the shit they accuse me of. That's the type of shit they accuse me of. I've never done that. Contacted anybody.
My mother's 75 years old with a bad heart. She has dementia. She has full-blown diabetes, and her dementia is getting worse fast. I mean, it's very obvious. And you want to hate on me and talk shit on me, well, bring it on, motherfucker. You don't do that to my mother. It's just improper. And then Danelle sent Bonnie a text today. I'm so worried about Rich, and I just can't believe that he would do my whole family like this. Well, I didn't do anything to them.
Oh.
I changed stances, but I didn't do anything to them. I've given Darlie money. I've given her support. I bought her meals. I've sent her books. I've sent her puzzles. Endless letters. She sent me endless letters, which Anna took. And this is why I call her Antifa Anna, Brian.
Oh, Darlie's got you. She's got the letters that Darlie sent to you.
Well, no. Here's what had happened. Michaela, the woman that filmed that documentary I was telling you about. Are we live, by the way?
Oh.
Okay, good. But we will be covering this on the show, though, some of this. I had given, I had probably 200 handwritten letters from Darlie, at least 100. There's a lot. And Michaela said, because Michaela and Anna had come over to my house, and because they were in Dallas, and they asked if they'd come over. I said, yeah, you can come over. I gave them the address to come over, and Michaela said, yeah, I'd really like to get a look at those letters. I said, well, if you want to know about Darlie, everything's right here in these letters. I said, I'm not going to give you the personal ones, the ones where she don't want people knowing shit. Right. But I'll give you the other ones if you want to know her personality. And I gave them all to Michaela. And I told Michaela, I said, I want these back. Oh, yeah, no problem. And Bonnie, first word out of Bonnie's mouth as soon as they left was, "You ain't ever getting those
You
letters
never
back."
getting it back. Yeah. They're
And
fangirls. Sully is a fangirl. Anything from
yeah,
Darlie. Yeah, she's a
and
fangirl.
yeah, well, she wants credit, Mr. St. John. That's all she wants.
I know.
She just wants to make a name for herself. You already know all this. I mean, I don't have to tell you. And I can tell you this: Kathy and Diana despise her. They despise her.
Good.
And Kathy, one of her last texts to me said that she called Darlie Key after I'd been telling her for months to do that, and explained to her about Anna. And finally, she did it. And she said, "Well, Darlie Key don't care nothing about her." Well, I don't know that I believe that. I don't know that I believe that. I don't know that she really cares for her, but I don't think that it's she don't care anything of what she has to say. Anybody that listens to Anna knows she's a fucking lunatic.
I knew within 3 minutes of meeting her that she was lying about something.
I know you did.
That,
I suspected it, Mr. St. John.
did she ever tell you? Did she ever tell you that she was an expert on a criminal court case?
Not personally, but I wouldn't surprise me that
It's
she
right in your
told me
chat.
that.
It's right in your.
I don't just, Mr. St. John, I normally don't have the time to go through that.
Yeah.
And I seen Bathsheba. I've been having more time now than I've had in many, many years. But I mean, I seen that, Bathsheba had put in there. I just can't believe that Rich had changed stance like this. Well, Rich has been debating on changing stance for quite some time because,
You really have, Rich. You told me probably like 3 years ago, even that you had a few
well,
doubts, but not that. You said you.
here's the thing that broke the straw on the camel's back, Mr. St. John.
Mhm.
If you look at Darlie's entries into her journal prior to getting close to the time of the murders,
Yep.
sweet, gentle,
Right.
loving, caring. See, that's the Darlie I know.
Right.
Okay. And now all of a sudden it goes psychotic.
Boom.
Yeah. And
I did a video about this same thing.
everybody around her saying she's acting weird, like Basha. She's telling me a lot of shit, and I believe her.
Right.
I believe her. Now, if you remember Lisa Gibbons, Dana's on there. Lisa Gibbons asked Dana, "So what was your sister's frame of mind that night?"
Yep.
And she just puckered right up and started crying, and she left the stage, didn't
Yep.
come back on.
I
That's
covered
because
that.
Dana knows. Dana knows she was going fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Darren, I don't know what the fuck was up with him. I mean, the shit that Basha told me, going around test sneak and waving guns around and shit in there, and anybody says anything about Darlie waving a gun around and shit, ask her about it. She'll tell you.
Oh yeah, and she told me the same thing. She was scared of Darren.
Yeah.
She was afraid Darren
I
was
mean,
going to come after her.
Yeah, he was like going off the deep end himself.
She says that in my video, though. She goes, he was waving his gun around saying, if anybody says anything bad about Darlie, she said, I quit going around them.
Yeah. And she even said, Rich, I don't like guns.
No.
And, he comes over and sets the gun on my work table.
He had the wherewithal that the night of the murders. He had the wherewithal to get a hold of Beja and tell her to be sure and open the shop.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess business.
There's something. I mean, they were going crazy. And I told Darlie when I saw her in prison, I said, Darlie, listen, I know your marriage was in shambles at the time that your boys were murdered. I said, so you know what? Bonnie was sitting right there with me. Bonnie's sitting right here with me now.
Yeah.
I told her, I said, so you don't have to, try to convince me otherwise, because I know that your marriage was a wreck. I know you were downstairs on that couch for a week, and I know you were on that couch because you and Darren were fighting. She admitted to that.
Yeah.
She admitted to that, Brian.
Yeah. But she wants the public to think they made the story up about Drake rooting and grunting in his crib, which actually makes it look worse. Thing. It makes it look worse for her.
No, check this one out. It was right after I had that visit. She did that interview with that English woman, Susanna something, I think.
The one that interviewed Darren Gross.
That's it. the first motherfucking word out of Darlie's mouth after Susanna asked her, so what kind of marriage did you and Darren have? Oh, we had a wonderful marriage. I remember just sitting with Bonnie. We watched it as they did it. Oh, Jesus Christ. And I told Bonnie, I said, she's got to quit fucking lying.
I got Darren Gross real good not too long ago. He was posting about Trump. He hates Trump.
Oh, I know what he is.
And he was going, "What, you guys are going to vote for a 34-time convicted felon? If that's the truth, then America's going straight to hell." And I popped under there. I said, "Yeah, really?" I said, "But so how is Darlie?"
Yeah.
That's all I said.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I tried to get him. I tried to get him to tell me he was seeing her without telling him I think he sees her, but he denies it.
Well, no, yes, he does.
He has
yes,
to.
He does. Yeah, Darlie and Danelle both confirm that to me.
Yeah.
They just don't want to say anything.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, that's because they started harassing Darren Gross because he's a fucking retard. He's a nice guy.
He drinks too much.
Brian.
He drinks too much.
But he does drink a lot. But I heard him on your show that one night.
Yeah.
And like I said, I drink too, but I bet you never see me drunk on YouTube.
No.
Never. I would have never do that.
Never even knew you. Never even seen you take a sip. Never even. It's your business. You're grown.
Yeah, but you don't get on. He's on there. Well, fuck that family. I heard him.
Yeah.
Well, but they still love him. I never even said anything like that. Anna is involved in crucifying bunnies. I mean, we found all kinds of shit on her. She's a sick cunt, man.
Well, I don't know about the crucifying bunnies part. That doesn't really do anything. You have to be a rabbit Baptist. It's called a rabbit Baptist, and that doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. I never got involved in crazy shit like that. But the thing that it's these differences in how she was acting. Now, if you look at how she was acting at the gravesite, that's not the Darlie I know. I've said that on podcast. That is not the Darlie I know. Even Bonnie made that comment, and Bonnie even said she really looks horrible, which she really did. She looked very pale, and I mean, she had been going through some shit, obviously.
Right.
But I'm going to be honest with you. Mr. St. John, do some study on that fin shit that she was taking, because when they took that shit off the market, because it was making people go crazy.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, they took it off the market. It wasn't all that long after those little boys were murdered.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, but it makes me wonder. And I not wonder if that just wasn't the thing that really set her off. I really even wonder if she even remembers doing it. But here's the thing. On the 911 call, when I questioned her about all that shit on that, who's this Blake that Darren's talking about? What were you promising Darren on the 911 call? Did Darren come down and grab a hold of you? I don't remember. I don't remember any of that.
I had that private investigator that Mama Darlie hired to find innocence. She's the one that told me that, and she's still running a huge, Tina Church still runs a national private investigation thing to this day.
Yeah.
She said Darlie Key hired her. She said Darlie Key hired her to find innocence, and that she interviewed everybody except for Darlie. But she talked to Darren, and that Darren accidentally slipped up and said that when he came down that stairs, the first thing he did is I grabbed Darlie and I shook her. That's what he said.
Well, and Basha said that when Darren come into the hospital room, she's in ICU, he grabbed a hold of Darlie's arms.
Yeah. Yeah.
And whispered something into her ears, and she goes, I not wonder. He goes, because I seen the way he grabbed her.
Yeah.
And she said, I not wonder if that's what gave her that bruising on her arms, because of the way that he grabbed her in there, which I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's blunt force trauma, and Dr. Santos said that he felt like it happened 48 up to almost 4 days after she was released. The day he felt like it happened that day.
It really looks like internal bleeding to me, because I've had it.
Yeah.
And I know what it looks like, and it's exactly what it looks like. And when I talked to Darlie about it, she goes, "Oh, it probably was." That's what she said, because I told her my story with it. But here's the sad thing, Mr. St. John. The Darlie that you read prior to the entry in the journal, diary, whatever you want to call it, prior to where it turns real dark, prior to that, all those entries, that's the Darlie you would meet today if you sat down and you were talking with her and there, something happened to her. I don't know. Could it have been the sexual abuse as a young girl and it come to a head later in life? Possible. I don't know if I believe that or not.
Here, let me catch you. I remember I saw what you wrote, to Diana. You said, well, he thinks that's got something to do with it, but I don't believe that.
I really don't. But my grandparents had a lot of foster kids, and most of them were sexually abused, and most of those kids were about the same age as me and my brothers when we were growing up, and they were fucked up. I mean, it wasn't, a little weird or a little depressing. These kids are fucked up. And you got to remember, we're going back to the late 70s and the 80s, right. Definitely Darlie's generation, my generation, your generation. And
Darlie's situation is a little bit different, because not only was she molested by this man, she told her mother, and her mother didn't do anything about it. So she had to bottle it up. And then she had to live with him for almost another 10 years and watch him produce 2 more children that she knew he wasn't touching.
Yeah.
And so
a good point.
And then, well, you got to think about it. She writes about it right up till just a few weeks for her murders. I don't know why Denny did what he did to me. And so it stayed in her mind all these years that her mother did not back her up and that let that man abuse her. But the thing we couldn't understand is why she would let Devin and Damon go spend the night with him.
Well,
and she said on the stand, she said that the only reason she let Devin and Damon, I might hang this up. She let Devin and Damon stay with him is because he knew that Danelle would be with her.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this. I had put my first wife, I put her stepfather in prison for 5 years for molesting my daughter.
Right.
And it's, they did a big investigation. They investigated me and my first wife. They investigated Crystal's family, my family. I think they did a Class A job on doing it too. I think they did a really good job on investigating. And they come to the conclusion that he was guilty. They gave him a lie detector test. He bombed the motherfucker. And so they told me, we're gonna put charges on you. And they put charges on him. He went to prison for 5 years. Me and the first wife get divorced. The first thing my ex-wife does is start taking my kids out to visit them. It's like deja vu all over again. When I hear, the case with Darlie and Dennis Stahl.
I really think that did something to her.
Mr. St. John. It's fucking sickness.
I think that it did something to Darlie. And like I said, Danelle, that's one place when I debate with Danelle that she can't deny. Either Dennis Stahl is a child molester and they protected him from that all these years, or Darlie sat up on that stand and lied. And she said that he's not a molester. So one of them's lying.
Well, I met him, Mr. St. John.
Yeah.
And so did Diana, and so did Anna. And none of us were very impressed because he does come off like somebody like that. He's real quiet. He's real reserved. He'll say hi, but he won't, indulge himself in any kind of communication whatsoever with anybody. And you know what? At that party, I didn't see a motherfucking soul talk to him. Not a soul.
I
And
don't know.
he had like 7, 8 grandchildren there between Dana's kids and Danelle's kids.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I didn't see Dana or Danelle
Sully
say a word to him.
Sully had the same thing. Her stepfather abused her, and then she
So
said that
she says.
she said while she was in a mental hospital, that somebody in the the staff raped her. It's right in her Reddit, right on Reddit.
She's full of fucking shit.
I'm surprised you didn't see all these videos that I put up with all her Reddit stuff.
I do see it, Mr. St. John, but I don't believe a goddamn word that comes out of her mouth, because all she tries to do is get attention and credit. Oh, look at me. She wants to play victim about everything. That's why she's a useless piece of shit. Because people that do that play victim about everything, they ruin their whole goddamn life.
Well, see, that stuff that Steve sent you, that you sent over to me,
Yeah.
if people didn't know the situation, it would look like, the way Steve worded it, it would look like they thought you had a private eye license and that you wasn't coming through with it.
Bonnie, I want you to explain to Mr. St. John. I don't know if you want to talk to him. I'll let you talk to him if you want.
You know,
when we were down in Houston, she started bringing that PI shit up, and I know you told her, and I had mentioned that I do not have a fucking license. Did we not tell her that in Houston? Yeah. You want to tell Mr. St. John?
I did a couple videos. And I said, look, Rich is not a private investigator, but he is. He is an investigative. You know, you got skills.
Well, Mr. St. John, I did take some criminal classes when I was at True Life. That's true, but I never got any licensing. I told them I took classes. I did take classes.
I put it like this too. I put it like this too. That chef Rachel Ray, she's not a chef. She's not. She's not a chef, but she can do the. You know what I'm saying? Neither was Paula Dean.
But you know what? None of this ever come up. None of this ever come up until Tara DeCourtney put on her documentary. And I want to give a special thanks out to private investigator and podcaster Rich Prater. And I remember when that happened, and me and Bonnie heard it the first time, and me and Bonnie looked at one another, and I said, Bonnie, that's going to cause some shit. And
I don't know where I caught wind of it.
Well, I asked her, Brian. I asked Tara. I said, Tara, why did you say that? Well, I just put that in there like that. You remember that shit, Bonnie? Yeah. And I'm like, I kind of wish you hadn't, because, you know, that's going to cause trouble.
Yeah, because people want to hold you accountable. If you're speaking up for somebody that's on death row for killing a child, and you say you're a private investigator, people are going to hold you. That's why I kept at you about it, because I'm like, I know he's not a private investigator.
You know what, though? People should hold you up to that, though.
They should. Well, yeah, you can't be out here supporting Darlie and saying you're a private investigator, because people might go, wow, this person really knows what they're talking about, because they're a private investigator. That's not fair. That's what Sully does.
When we were at Diana's house, we told them again about that. We were all sitting there on the porch, and Danelle was present, and they just wanted to keep driving that. I think perhaps maybe for credibility, hey, we got a licensed private investigator on our team. I don't know.
She needed to work with a private investigator that's licensed in order to get her credentials.
Well, that's not how it works, Mr. St.
Yeah, she has to do at least 3 years, about 2 to 3 years of working under somebody to qualify.
Yes, but they still got to go to classes.
Right.
They got to get checked out. They got to have physicals. They got to have all kinds of shit. And I mean, the way her pussy swells up from fucking lupus, I don't see how that she could be applicable.
He tells everybody on Reddit that she's severely disabled, and sometimes she can't even walk.
Mr. St. John, and if I'm lying to you, may God strike me dead. Bonnie was there, so was Diana. We were over at Diana's house filming that documentary. That bitch was so fucking high. It was, it was bad too. I mean, it wasn't just a little bit noticeable. I mean, it was bad. Her teeth were chattering, and it was 100 degrees outside. And Diana come up to me and Bonnie and said, hey, guys, think Anna's high or something because she's not acting right. I said, yeah, you think?
I hope
It
Diana
was
and Kathy.
bad,
I hope
Mr.
Diana
St.
and
John.
Kathy don't turn their backs on you.
Well,
they might.
I got a lot of history with both of them. You know, Diana and Bonnie are actually good friends, and they get along very, very well. I think Bonnie's most upset about that because she likes them. She's friends with them.
They don't
And
have nothing.
Bonnie's
Yeah,
like,
they have nothing to do with this. They really don't.
right. They don't. But Bonnie told me, she goes, you know, we've had a friendship with him for years, and she goes, if you want to change your stance, change your stance. Just don't do it publicly. And I said, Bonnie, that makes me a liar by omission. I'm not going to do that. And
well, Rich, she has to understand that you're not the first.
Bonnie was afraid if I made it public, they were going to tell both of us to go fuck off. And this is what I told Bonnie. I said, well, if they do that, then they weren't friends anyway.
That's right. That's why they did me. But except for there's a couple of them that, like Danny Owen still stayed close to me. Stephanie Hopkins did for a minute. Gia Leone.
Oh, that goofy bitch.
You know who Gia Leone is, don't you?
Heard the name.
Yeah, she's one of the, she's some of them stayed friendly with me. Most of them didn't. But
well,
Stephanie, I did some responses to her, and she hadn't said anything else. So I think I kind of put her in her place.
well, she's an idiot.
Well, she don't need to be over on your channel telling you what to do when she don't participate in her damn
Well,
self.
nobody's telling me what to do anymore. I'm going to do what the fuck I want. This is fucking America, and I have freedom of speech. So when I want to go on your program, we'll talk about what you want to talk about. And when I'm on my program, I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. But I don't even know that I'm going to do Darlie anymore. Now, maybe to come on your program, I will. But I mean, on my program, I think I'm going to turn it into a political podcast. I'm very politically inclined. I know the Constitution, Bill of Rights. I know the presidents like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm thinking about actually doing that because I'm really good at it. And you know, this country is severely divided. And
yeah, his approval rating is about 50% right now.
Yeah.
And
that's not that untypical of a sitting president, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Clinton was at about 50. You know, George Bush Jr. was at about 50 after he got reelected, but by the time he got out of there, it was in the 20s. But
I still remember that guy throwing that shoe at George Bush.
Well, I am no fan of the Bush family, Mr. St. John. They're evil people.
Yeah, they are.
But yeah, they really are. And you know, you're a little bit politically inclined yourself. That's why I'd love for you to come on one of my political shows.
Well, you know, I do it, but I like people. Like I could go out wearing my Trump hat, and I don't get any crap from people because of how I carry myself. I've only have maybe one or two people. But most people, when I got my Trump hat on, nice hat, man. Most all of them. But once in a while, you get somebody that wants to test you.
Well, yeah, but see, that's in my opinion, that's freedom of speech. If you support President Trump, you have that right to do so. He was legally elected under our electoral system in this country, and if you support him as president, you have that right to do that.
After they ripped him off of one election. That whole thing that Joe Biden shit was they were found whole truckfuls of ballots, you know, that got seized, and that was rigged. It was.
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah, I don't deny that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd like to see everything on it, but I don't think we ever will. But yeah, I'll bet that it was. I'll bet that it was. I mean, Joe Biden can't even talk.
Yeah, he was a joke. They shouldn't have done that to that man. That was embarrassing.
My God. And, you know, I mean, you look at President Jimmy Carter, I had great respect for him as a man. I thought he was a good man. But he didn't understand the economic system of this country at all.
I remember as a kid watching him as a president and thinking that he was kind of dumb.
No, actually, he's a brilliant man.
I felt like he was kind of dumb.
Well,
But
he
I was a
comes
kid.
off that way, but he comes off that way. Do you know that he could read a page of a speech, read it one time through, and he could memorize it and say it verbatim?
That's crazy.
After that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean he wasn't a fucking retard like, Bush and Biden.
Yeah.
He just did not understand the economic system of this country. And when he got in there, it was already bad, and he made it a lot worse. And so, but he's a good man. He's a very good man, and he had a lot of standards. I mean, he loved America, but he made a lot of bad choices as president. And shortly before he died, a couple of years before he died, he even said, and admitted that he was a failed president. And
Yeah,
he said,
I saw that. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, he said if he had to do it over again, there would have been a lot of things he'd have done different. But he knows he failed as president. But that's why when he left office after he got beat by President Reagan, he decided to continue to try to do other things to help the country, which he did.
If you go political on your YouTube, though, you have to have a very, very thick skin, because I get shit from people about Trump all the time, worse than some of the Darlie supporters.
Well, but I mean, there are a lot of policies that Trump does that I do support, without a question. But there's a lot of things he does I don't like all this executive order horse shit. That's ridiculous, man. You're signing fucking dozen executive orders a week. That's not how this country works.
Well, I mean, it depends. Now, see, he knows that they're all going to reverse it anyway, as soon as he's out of office. So,
of course they are.
He's just getting his licks in. He wants to do as best as he can. I think that we're better off now than we were without him.
Oh, I agree.
I
totally agree.
I like the ICE thing. I like that.
Yes.
I like
It's really bad, Mr. St.John. I mean, you're from Texas, but I live in Texas, and I see it. And I'm telling you,
I don't live far from Springfield, Ohio.
Well, I know, but
it's a Haitian city.
Well, I don't think he's doing enough, to be honest with you, because these motherfuckers that get pulled over, like here in Texas, they don't have insurance, they don't have driver's licenses, they don't have nothing. They pull them over, and they just write them a ticket and let them go, and that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Okay, because I got big trouble if I don't have that stuff.
So what? Hey, what do you think? What do you think you're? Do you think you're going to send like a closure letter to Darlie or something? You're just not going to say.
I don't know. I guess I just haven't thought that far ahead. I mean, I initially felt this way, and then some things changed my mind. But I'm sorry, evidence don't lie, Mr. St. John. The evidence is she went real screwy right before the murders, and we got people backing that up.
You can see it in her journals. That whole journal entry is that's big evidence.
You can see it on the silly string. You can see it on the silly string video. Jesus Christ, you can tell she's goofy.
Her and like she was relieved.
Yeah, which is crazy. That's what I'm saying.
She was unburdened. And in that interview, they looked like they both looked like they won some kind of big prize. Both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think her and Antifa Anna should go bowling because they have a lot in common. But as far as Darren is concerned, I don't think he's coming out smelling like a white mushroom either. There's something not quite right there. I don't think. I mean, we might never know what it is.
Well, my thing is this: he knew she did it, and it's too late for him to take. It's too late for him to take it back.
Well, it would look really bad if he did. But I'm going to tell you what, they start calling his ass. I know they retook his DNA, but if they start calling his ass in court hearings and shit, I'd love to know what he's going to have to say. We'll find out, maybe, if that's the way Vanessa decides to go. Or, I don't know, they keep saying, oh, Vanessa's got enough. Vanessa's got enough. Well, if she's got enough, what are they fucking waiting for?
Why do you think that they keep her case on such a down low, though?
Well, Vanessa did ask that we do that.
Well, I mean,
She
no, I
did.
mean, as
She
far
did
as the
ask.
Innocence Project, why don't they just announce it that they're supporting Darlie? Why don't they do that? Why is she not on their front page?
I don't know.
Because she's not
I
that
couldn't
wrongfully
tell you.
convicted.
Yeah.
I think that
Then,
I
yeah.
think they latched on to her, and they want to see if they can find the loophole, get her out. And I think they just kind of, it's a heads or tails thing. If they come out really big and strong for her, and then they find out that she is definitely guilty, that looks bad for them.
Well, here's another thing. Now, if in fact um, they try to get her out and they don't succeed, which I don't think they would right now. I don't think they would, unless there's something going on I don't know about, and that's possible because I've been kept in the dark the last few months now, so I don't know. But I mean, oh my God, where do I begin? I'm sorry, I just don't think they have enough. They cannot put with the evidence that somebody was in that house. They've got some things that can be looked at, but they're getting these DNAs, they're comparing it to, they're doing that like, the hell do they call it? Where, like for example, Mr. St.John, they could, let's say someone in my family, like 6 generations ago, committed a murder. They could test me and find out that they did it because of the DNA link. Yeah. They're actually doing. There's a term for that, but I forget the name. But
it's generational something, yeah, genetical something, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing that now.
Good.
Yeah, I
hope
agree.
that they look. I hope they give her every single test she wants. All of them.
Well, they have.
Right, and it's not looking. Nothing. There's nothing.
Nothing has come back in Darlie's favor. Nothing.
Nothing. And that fingerprint,
there are some
85J, is more than likely Darlie's fingerprint. A lot of people don't believe that, but it's more than likely. Well, because if the intruder had blood on his hands to leave it on the table, it wouldn't have been just one print.
Oh yeah, there would have been more blood other places.
And I see Sully saying that they've got all these other prints. I think if they find something that shows us that Darlie didn't do,
lie.
Well, I think that if they find something that shows us that Darlie didn't do this, it'll be something that none of us knew about. None of us.
They didn't find 40 plus more prints. That is a crock of horse shit.
She is.
They found more prints on the knife. And I told Danelle, I said, well, that's shot dead in the dark before we even get started. What do you mean?
Mosties.
Did you know how many people have handled that goddamn knife?
Mosty already contaminated it, and the state filed a writ to have it removed because as he was showing it to the jury, he cut himself with it. Now, what if we had something like that was to prove her guilty? They'd say, no, you can't use it.
That's not going to stand up in court.
Nope.
That's not going to stand up in court. So I already told her that, well, you could strike that one out. And then she said they got a palm print on the window where the screen was cut. And they got a DNA off of it. And they got the DNA off the pubic hair that was on Darlie's shirt. And that
Lynch missed all this stuff when he studied that screen. He missed all that.
They're making it seem that way. But I never heard anything. I never heard a goddamn thing about 40 more prints.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you, Mr. St.John. I think all they had to do was talk to Darlie in her psychotic moment and interview a few people that was close to her, such as Buncha Javel and Tammy Javel. And it wouldn't take very much to see that the woman was fucking goofy.
Now, Buncha, she told me a lot of stuff I can't even remember. But the thing with her is I'm really watching her body language, and I'm trying to figure out, I'm looking for her agenda when I'm thinking, why would she be doing this to her friend Darlie type of thing. I'm looking at that, and I didn't see any of it. I look at it as somebody that is mad at Darlie now because of what Darlie did to those 2 kids.
Well, she told me in tears on the phone, she goes, I still love Darlie, but I can't give her any support because of what she did with those little boys. And you know what? She was telling me about the stick in the backyard. She told me that happened more than once.
Yeah, that the boy. Well, you can read, in Darlie's journals. Well, Danelle came on once and said Darlie wasn't happy. She was happiest with her kids right next to her. She was all about the kids, and never blah blah just right up her tail, blah blah Darlie and the kids. But in her journal, she said that Damon went for a week with his grandma. And then I asked Basha, I said, had they spent the night with you before? And she goes, oh yeah. She's so they had spent the night over there before. So what is Darlie
If
doing
that be
while
the
Basha's
case,
got
and
the kid?
if those little boys didn't like Basha, then why did they let those little boys stay with Basha?
I think she said that to you. Danelle said that to you. I think she said, "Yeah, well, really,
I'm not.
yeah, they didn't like her."
Well, she wasn't the first one to tell me that. Kathy Ramsey told me that. Darlie Key told me that. Danelle may have told me that. I don't recall. She may
Yeah,
have.
well, Kathy Ramsey swears up and down that there was a news crew that watched Darlie go into
I
the ambulance
know,
too.
Mr. St. John. I
I was
know.
watching your face when she said that. I was watching how
Yeah.
while she was talking because she didn't make
I've
things.
seen
Kathy
everything, just like you have.
Kathy did not make things look good for supporters last time we was on your channel. She didn't. And I'm sitting there watching
Probably
you,
not.
and I'm thinking, I'm trying to figure out what you're thinking, and it looks to me like, you kind of wish she would shut up.
I did actually, because she was cutting Pam off, wasn't letting her speak, and cutting me off. Cut me off on several different podcasts.
She would
And
go. She would go.
yeah, yeah,
I'm like,
and
really? I
we
thought it was
weren't
funny.
we weren't doing that to her. I mean, but I mean, I know Kathy very well, and I like Kathy. I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you knew her outside the case, you would really like her, Mr. St. John. You
Well, I
really
think
would.
she's a
And
sweetheart, but just this thing with Darlie, you just can't. She could have video of Darlie committing the crime, and she's gonna talk about Joe Blow's crime over here, and she's always deflecting from Darlie. If you
but
listen,
as far as another thing I want to say, if Darlie were to get out, even though they would say, "Oh, you're innocent, you're exonerated, we're gonna let you go," and she gets out, I really wouldn't like that, because she it's basically stating she didn't do it. But if she was able to get out on time served, would I accept that? Yeah, I probably would. I'm not a huge fan of the death penalty. And Mr. St. John, 30 years, that's a long time in a federal pen. You know that.
yeah.
And I mean, that's a pretty hard time that she's doing in there.
There's people that have killed children that did less than what Darlie's already done.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
but I don't think that she should be allowed to get a free pass on it. I mean, if she were to get paroled with proper supervision and different various things, I could probably accept that.
well, you had like Carla Homolka got out of prison. I know you know who she is, right?
I've heard the name.
With Paul Bernadetto, they were grabbing girls and killing them. They accidentally killed her sister because he was a sex fiend. But anyway, it was big news. But
there's a lot of cases like that.
Well, she got out. She got out, and people still, after she did her time, people still weren't very pleasant to her. She had to change her name and move to another country.
Darlie gets out, Mr. St. John, somebody will kill her.
Nah.
Oh, I disagree highly.
If they let her out, we have to accept that. Especially if they prove it. If they look, I always wanted.
Oh, if they prove it, I'll be the first one to say changing stances was wrong, and I'll stand up and do it, just like I said that I would do when I was a supporter. But I need to see the evidence, okay? Because there isn't any. If there was evidence showing somebody came into that, I'd be all about Darlie getting out.
Well, how long?
I think you would too.
Well, I know that you had done shows and stuff while you had doubts. Me and you talked about that. Because just between me and you said it plenty of times, and you said, well, maybe I did at the beginning, but your very first
I
show,
did at the beginning,
right?
I
But
did at the beginning.
Your very first show, you were like, I know she's 100% innocent. So that would lead somebody to believe that you weren't having doubts 5 years ago. But you had said that to me in between then. So I know that there was times.
I've had doubts off and on over the years.
So you feel like now, when I was a supporter, the reason I didn't have very many doubts is because I never looked at the legal court case, the transcript. I never did any of that. I just hung out with the family, whatever the family said. I didn't argue the case.
I'm going to be honest with you, Mr. St. John. I think Darlie's family knows she did it. I know Dana does.
Everybody on our side, even Pam, the ladies that have been around for the longest, like Mary Moody and Christina Rose and all them, they all keep saying that they know she did it. And then if you look,
have to.
Well, look now. If you look,
they have to.
Now, Rich, I know that you've honestly watched how I've been interacting with Danelle. You can see that it's very simple for me, somebody that isn't even in the legal medical world, to catch her in a lie. You guys have seen me do it. That's why she backed off on her TikToks. And look, I don't have anything against Danelle. I'm not going to come after her. You see, I don't make too much fun of her, just a little bit. But as long as she's not out here lying, I got nothing. That's as long as you don't tell a lie, I'm not going to. You can say whatever.
Well, Mr. St. John, see, I love Danelle in a lot of ways because I know her very well personally. But the problem is this. She might be book smart, but she has no fucking common sense.
Well,
because and the biggest thing with it is the Anna thing, and a lot of the shit that she says about the case, she just pulls out of her ass.
Yeah.
And it's not. Show me the proof.
I really do feel like, because I've got a good intuition about people, and mine with Sully was right off the rip. And I don't want to look. I honestly don't want to see anything bad happen to Danelle or support. I don't think it's funny that
I believe you.
I really don't. But sometimes they make me.
Sometimes they
make me mad. Look, I know the supporters watch my channel. They can't help it. It's not because I'm popular or whatever, but I know they watch my channel. So if I have something I want to say to them, I know all I got to do is put it in video form. They can't help but watch. You can't help. and so you notice I haven't been messing with Danelle. I got nothing to say to her as long as she's not out there. And I never have one time been to her TikTok. People would send me her TikToks. Look what she said here. And they know she's lying. Look what she said here. But she did. She does. She flat lies, and it's annoying.
Mr. St. John, I want to read you that text. That's what I was asking Bonnie. I said, pull that text up on your phone so I can, because I didn't even read it. Bonnie just kind of gave me a brief synopsis. So I'm gonna read it to you.
Sully decided she wanted to text you.
Well, she don't want me to do it. So
yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I think I gave you the synopsis of what it said.
Who texted you?
Who what?
Who was it that texted you, Sully?
When?
Well, you were about to read me a text. From who?
Oh no, that was a text from Danelle to Bonnie.
Oh yeah, that's between them. That's okay.
Yeah. Bonnie said she don't want me to read, but I told you the gist of it.
Yeah,
I told you the gist of it.
That's between them two, and she, if she wants to, hopefully everybody can remain friendly.
Danelle's trying to convince Bonnie that I'm going crazy or something, or I'm stupid or untrustworthy, and trying to get Bonnie all worked up. Now, see, that pisses me off.
Well, Bonnie knows you.
Danelle knows how to get in touch with me. You want to say something, say it to me.
Well, Bonnie knows you. Danelle also tried to convince my two children that I was sexually abusing them. So
Bonnie's heard them. Yeah.
So
Danelle
is very.
St. John, that was wrong. I'm sorry.
She didn't like the
should
fact
not
that
have told your children that you were a child molester. She didn't like the fact that I was.
Awful. She wanted to jump on my panel and tell me about myself and tell me about the facts of this case. So I said, well, I said, if you come up there, I ain't hold bars. Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead. And the first thing I did was, so tell me, did your father molest Darlie? That's not case related. That's not this. That's not that. Yes, it is. It's case related. And I'm going to tell you why. Because one of you is lying. And if you could tell me that your dad
somebody's fucking lying.
if you sit here and tell me that your dad did not do that, you have just given me a history of you and your family of protecting someone that hurts children. That's big.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I can tell you, I had a brief conversation with Darlie Lynn in prison about it. And I know, a lot of the non-supporters say I should get a shirt that says, well, Darlie said, but I like to share what she said. I think people have the right to know.
I imagine, Rich, that since she is criminally famous, and everybody knows who she is, I can imagine that it would be very hard.
I think she likes it.
Yeah, it'd be very hard not to say what happened. But we tease you about it.
Well,
but we tease you because we know she's lying to you.
Well, Mr. St.John, I told you when I went in there and talked to her, I told you there was a lot of questions she didn't want to answer. She avoided the questions. I told you that her eyes float. I told you that, but she did sound real convincing on a lot of stuff. And I think a lot of it was true.
Yeah.
Because I told her, I said, Darlie, what happened with you and Darren? What was the downfall? Because I told her, I said, don't bullshit me. I said, I know your marriage is in shambles. You were wanting a separation.
Right.
You were downstairs sleeping on the couch.
And
you weren't down there because of Drake. You were down there.
I'd be pissed off if my wife wanted to go to a male strip club and have one come to the house.
Well,
I wouldn't like that.
I don't know that Darren. I don't think Darren was doing much better behind the scenes, Mr. St. John. Because I asked Darlie. I said, Darlie, she got mad at me.
Yeah.
She got mad at me because I said, Darlie, word has it is Darren was getting around quite a bit behind your back. And she put her two arms together and goes, with who? Tell me with who? I said, I don't fucking know. I said, I just told you that's the word.
Her mother alluded to that too.
I said, your sister's one of them. And, the first couple times I talked about Dana, she wouldn't respond to me.
I tell you, there's a picture. Yeah. There's a picture of Darren and Dana sitting in a courtroom. She's sitting right
Mr. St. John, I'm going to tell you something. And I told Pam this, and Pam said she thinks I'm right because I asked to know, and I asked Darlie Lynn what she knew about it and shit like that. And I said, what happened that night that Darlie Key, Dana, they got arrested, they got in a big fist fight, they're biting one another, sucker punching one another, God knows what else.
No.
There's police reports on it, and
I read them. Yeah, I got them. We got them.
I know. I've read them.
Yeah.
And I said, Darlie Key said, she needed to go to rehab. Dana's saying Darlie Key's fucking psycho or something to that effect. And then
told the police that regarding her mother that bitch is crazy.
Well, she is. But anyway, I had asked Danelle. I said, Danelle, what happened? I don't know what happened. I said, Danelle, I should do me a favor. I said, you're like a sister to me, but I know you were there that night because your name's in the police report because I read it.
Yeah, she made 2 statements.
And she said, well, you could see her voice changing real fast. And my sister had a lot of problems with drugs, and there was a lot going on with her, and there was, her boyfriend beat her up, and she come home with a black eye, and my mother said, well, if you're going to let men hit you, I might as well hit you too. And I said, no, that don't sound like a very reasonable explanation to me.
Last thing you want to do is inflict pain on your child because they got hit. You don't know.
Yeah, that don't even make sense. No. And well, I'm going to tell you what I think happened. And Pamela Collins agrees with me. Ask her. And I said, I even asked Danelle. I said, your mom walked in on your brother-in-law and your sister, didn't she? I said, I think that's what happened.
Well, there's been rumors of that in the past.
She didn't deny it.
There's a rumor in the past that Darren and Darlie Key were out in the steam house behind their house, and that she was showing it to her mom. Actually, they decided to get in it, and she said Darlie went inside to get drinks, this rumor is, and that Darlie Key was getting dressed, and she just showed her boobs to Darren, and then they got in the thing. That is a rumor that's been around for a long time.
Well, I've never heard that one, but that's actually kind of interesting. I wouldn't want to see her boobs now. I can tell you that. But um,
I genuinely do feel sorry for that family. I'm just not gonna let them dog me.
Well, I really think that Darlie Key come home and walked in on. Darlie Key was, they had a lot of stress going on at the time. There wasn't all that
And Darren
long
was
after the
staying there
trial
too.
and the conviction. Yeah,
And
yeah.
the
Darren was
police
staying
report
with them.
said that he had to get in between them.
Yeah, because I think they were fucking, or they were getting ready to, or they were doing something that was inappropriate. I think Darlie Key caught him. That's what I think fucking happened. I'll bet you, Mr. St.John, I'm right. I'll bet you.
Well, we always thought that in that time that it took Darren to drive Dana home, and there's two different reasons that are given to the public about why Dana went home that night on the 5th. One was Darlie said she wasn't feeling well, which she never said that anywhere else, that she wasn't feeling well, except for when it came to, well, I wasn't feeling well, so I asked Darren to take Dana home. Other than that,
well, I asked Darlie about it.
Yeah, well, other than that, she didn't say anything about not feeling well anywhere else, nowhere. She didn't say, well, I was kind of feeling bad. Or no, she didn't say any of that. No, so that's one. But then there was another one where Dana came out and said that she wanted to go home and be with her boyfriend. So why did she leave? But
I got a third story.
But at any rate, it shouldn't have took Darren as long as it did take him to get her home. So
No, because Darlie Key only lived 15 minutes from them.
So he comes back.
I timed it, Mr.
Well,
St.
yeah.
John.
So he comes back. Well, where the fuck you been? Ah, fuck you. That's how it started. We believe
Probably.
that. We believe that.
Something along those lines.
We believe it.
Listen, I can tell Darlie Lynn could get relentless. She could nag. I can tell. And I've had conversations, because I'm gonna tell you what, Miss St. John, I got her worked up in prison a couple times. I mean, her face was beat red, and the one time she got this weird look on her face, and it scares me in a way, because it's the same exact fucking face that Baja Jabel described, and I remember telling Bonnie about it. She could even tell you. And Bonnie was there.
She said her eyes changed, her face sink in.
Yeah,
she was. She did that with me. You got to listen to when I talked to Baja.
I did listen to it.
I mean, when I had her face to face, when she was talking, I always looked at her, because if you turn for a second, you might miss something real important, because you got to look right at her. And she would go.
And and her face got beet red, and her eyes were huge. It was scary looking, Miss St. John.
Well, she kind of made that face in one of her interviews once, and we've got a clip of it. I know the one you're talking about. I bring it out every now and then.
No,
if I find it, I'll put
it. You want to know what her face looked like? Very similar to the Silly String video, when they were talking about shit, and she turned her head and her eyes started getting kind of weird. It's kind of like that. She was doing some of that. And when I brought up
another thing she kept doing during that Silly String fiasco is putting her hands together in like a steeple, putting them together like she's praying. That's called steepling.
Well,
look it up.
Well, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
She did that 3 or 4 times during that thing.
And there was a couple times, me and Bonnie went down and seen her, and we come out of the prison. I said, God, Bonnie, I hope I'm not fucking wrong, because I'm seeing things that I just don't like. And
let me hold you accountable. Let me hold you accountable, because you said on your show that whenever you left, you always felt better. That you see now. See now I know that if I would be going to see her, if I caught on to anything right away, it'd have to be weird for you, honestly. Because you want to believe this adorable.
It was weird.
You want to believe this woman didn't do this, and she's all cute and you just can't see it.
Well, she I mean, I bring up Basha Javel, and that was like a no subject. I mean, she even told me and Bonnie, I don't even know why the fuck we're talking about this, quote unquote. And the sentence before that, oh, I was praying so hard in church, and Jesus Christ blessed me so much. And the next sentence is, fuck this and fuck you and mine, fuck this. Mr. St. John,
Somebody intentionally came in here and did it. There's nothing touched. There's nothing.
Well, I
touched.
asked her about that.
Yeah.
I asked her about all of it. Most of it, she said she can't remember.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, I caught her off guard, Mr. St. John. I did it on purpose because I made it out that I was being a friend to her, which I was. I really was. But I was like interrogating her when I was going in there. And after about the sixth or seventh visit, Darlie told me and Bonnie, you know what, I don't even know why we're even talking about this shit anymore. And I mean, she looked at us with a face that was evil. Yeah. So I said, okay, we won't.
Well, Basha is the only one that was very close to Darlie, that knew her probably better than what her family would, because she'd probably do stuff around Basha that she wouldn't do around her family. She knew her very intimately. She knew her secrets, and she got on the stand against her. That's their falling out.
Well,
that's the falling out they had.
It goes to show, but see, Mr. St. John, see, her mindset is the thing that scares me, because that's dangerous. Because case in point, Basha Javel, and I believe her. Basha Javel says that she wanted to have a threesome with her daughter.
Right.
And she told me about it.
Yeah.
And Tammy rejected it.
She said she came right out and asked Tammy, with Tammy sitting there, that Darlie just popped out with that and asked. Yeah. And she said that Tammy actually left. That was when their friendship kind of started going. Yeah.
But here's what I'm getting at, Mr. St. John. If you have you and Nicole have friends of yours come over to your house, you go over to their house, whatever, and one of them, say, Mr. St. John, I'd like to have a threesome with one of your daughters.
Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up, and that's disrespectful as fuck.
Yeah, they don't. Those types of things don't come out. They don't work that way.
Well, I'm sure they don't, but I wasn't trying to imply that. I hope you believe me, but no, I would never say that about your daughters. I'd never say that. I know
exactly. But no,
I'm just saying as an example.
Basha told me that Darlie, up out of the blue, asked Tammy if Tammy would like to have a threesome with them. That's what she told me. Yeah. And she said that Tammy was embarrassed by it, and she didn't expect it from Darlie, and that's when they started to,
Well, Mr. St. John, I got one better for you. And read Rebecca Neal's testimony again. This shit's going to shake you up, because I remember telling Bonnie when I read that part of the transcript, I'm like, this is interesting. Read it. I mean, I'm sure you already have.
I don't memorize it.
Read it again, because I'm going to tell you something's odd here. Because Darlie, according to Rebecca Neal, she said, we already know about the Zimas and all that shit. But after that, Darlie's asking her to come up to her bedroom and ask why were you doing it? Well, we were looking at, jewelry. And Mr. St. John, I mean, you're not a stupid guy. I think you're rather intelligent. But you don't invite a 13 or 14-year-old child to come up into your bedroom, okay, when nobody's there other than the children. It just is improper.
Well, okay? I tell you, you could certainly put yourself in a bad situation, even if her intention was just really to show her some jewelry, just having a kid up there, but I don't know. I didn't.
Just read the testimony. It doesn't sound right. It just doesn't sound right. And again, that's if Rebecca Neal's telling the truth, which a 13, 14-year-old girl, you put even a guy, you put them on a trial stand at that age to testify, they're going to be intimidated as fuck. Chances are they're going to tell the truth. Chances are. Just the odds are probably like, 8 out of 10 are gonna tell exactly what happened, even if they don't want to fucking say it. Now, she didn't say Darlie was touching her or anything. She said Darlie's putting her necklaces on her and just weird shit. I'm sorry, Mr. St. John, you don't have a 13, 14-year-old child, and you being a grown adult have come up into your bedroom.
I agree. It probably would have been better if it was just downstairs and they were doing that. But you also got to understand this: I'm being critically thinking this.
But
Darlie also had
see?
Darlie had two little sisters that she probably showed them how
Yeah.
to do makeup and do their dresses and all that. So maybe that was just something like that for her.
Well, maybe, but when I hear that she's asking Tammy Jovel, who's half her age, to hop in a sack with her, and that's the friend of her daughter's, well, what was Terry and Karen Neal to Darlie? It's just weird to me.
Well, I mean, Karen and Terry Neal were
not
attractive
if I hate
at all.
I hate anything, I hate a fucking child molester.
Well,
I hate a motherfucking child molester.
I can say Terry and Karen, they weren't much to look at. He was
they were not.
He was a big burly bear type of guy, and she was just a plain Jane. I mean, that would be a very funny threesome. It'd be an out of harmony threesome.
I asked Darlie about it. She said that never happened.
No.
She said that never happened. She said she had never had a threesome before.
Now, isn't the Neals the ones that they allegedly paid the mortgage for?
Yeah. There was somebody else too, I think, and I know they helped Basha Javel too. But Basha said she paid them back, which Darlie even said she paid them back.
Yeah.
But again, this is before the psychosis start kicking in. See?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, my second wife had postpartum psychosis. She had it bad, Mr. St. John. I've seen things with her that you don't even see on movies.
Yeah.
That's the honest Christ truth. It was horrible. It was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I hope to, I can't begin to tell you. I mean, it was Andrea Yates, part 2. I'm serious. Between the voices, hearing things, doing things, she damn near killed a guy. Because the guy got smart with me, and she got a phone cord and almost strangled him to death. They put her in a state funny farm for that up in Cleveland. But
I'm not laughing. I just can imagine her trying.
No. She would tell me, "Oh my God, what's climbing up the wall?" Turn around. What the fuck are you talking about? And I'm not gonna lie, Mister. I'm very ashamed of this, but I'd be lying if I said otherwise. I was hooped up on all kinds of shit at the time too. So that's just being honest. I feel horrible about it now. I really do. But anyway, turn around. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm going up the motherfucking wall. She would piss herself because of that stuff. She'd see something, and she told her psychiatrist that she had plans on murdering me and my son.
Oh.
And my son at the time, he was only, oh my God, he's only a few weeks old. I mean, he was a weenie little guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's a 21-year-old man now. But anyway, the psychiatrist called me. He's like, "You need to come in here. We need to have a meeting." So I went in there, and Melissa's parents were in there, and they're like, you got to take custody of your son. She's not allowed to be around him anymore. And if you're not going to sign documents of this effect, then, we're going to call Children's Services. We're going to get the law involved because I don't have a choice but to report it, but she's planning on killing you guys.
That's right.
So, no, I think a doctor was doing everything by the book, and he did it right. And I was straight up the psychiatrist. I told him, I'm like, "Doctor, I'm not fit to have my son." I said, I have drug problems, and I'm already paying child support for 2 daughters.
Yep.
And it's unaffordable for me to do it, and I'm not going to be able to work and do it, and I've got bad habits, I was on crack cocaine. I was on pills. I was on heroin. So I said,
I can imagine you all lit up.
well, here's what happened. They said, well, what about Melissa's mom and dad? And I really frowned on that at first. I didn't really like them. They didn't like me either, for obvious reasons. And they had that right to feel that way, and I know that now. But I told them that I'm like, I got to think about this, and I got to thinking about it. I'm like, you know what, this kid's got a hell of a lot better chance with them than he would with me, because I'm a fuck up. I'm useless. And so I signed my rights over to Melissa's mom and dad, and they raised him. Melissa's parents are still alive today. They're in their 80s. And, my son, the last time I talked to him, he was getting ready to go to college, and he was doing pretty good. He had a lot of questions about his mother that I wouldn't answer, because I don't know that it'd be good for him to hear it. But see, the night she killed herself, okay, I had lied to her, because what I was going to do, I really was going to return some movies we had rented. The old VCR, fucking Blockbuster. I think it was Blockbuster. I can't remember. And I said, and the movies were due back that day. And I told her, so I'm going to go ahead and I worked at a local 179 then as a concrete mason. Back in 2003, Mr. St. John, I was making like $29 an hour, on a road cruise. So, and I had just gotten paid, and I was making fucking bank, man. I was making thousands a week. So I told her, so I'm going to return to movies, and I'm going to go get some lunch meat and shit for sandwiches for lunch. And she had told me, she said, come here for a minute. She was in a bedroom, went in. She goes, I just want you to know how much I love you, right? You know how much I really love you, right? I'm like, well, yeah, I know. Well, thanks. And, I'm thinking about going to get the dope. I'm not thinking about, hey, is something going wrong here? And then I go out and, I go to Dope House up on the north side, do my shit. I'm zinging. I'm doing good, right? I come home and I hear her in bed. I come in the door, the bathroom light was on, but all the other lights were off, and I heard like this deep snore, and I knew it didn't sound right. And I had walked a long way around our bedroom, because there's two entrances to it. And I said, hey, wake up a second. Hey, I'm sorry I'm late. So I went over to a buddy of mine's house, and I turned on a light. And I took one look at her, and I knew something was wrong. There was this shit bubbling out of her mouth. She was gasping for breath. She was blue. And I seen, oh my God, there was probably, if I recall, 7 or 8 different empty bottles of pills laying on the bed, with a glass of juice on her nightstand, half drunk. And, I went over and grabbed her. What the fuck did you do? And her head's bobbing around. She's she's barely alive. And I called 911. They come to the house. And she was urine soaked, puke. Oh my God!
I can imagine, brother. I don't know what I do if something happened to mine. No matter if she was on.
No, please. No, your kids need you guys. But
Nicole's not even.
But when I
Nicole's
see this stuff, and what I'm getting at is I don't know that Darlie necessarily had postpartum psychosis. Okay, I see no evidence of that, because they hear voices, they kill babies, they go crazy. Now she did kill babies, but I really wonder how bad it really got behind the scenes when it was just Darlie and Darren.
This whole situation with them wanting to being upset because Drake was a boy and not a girl.
Yeah.
They didn't. They didn't care for that. I mean,
and so something cracked, Mr. St. John, in her mind. I know it.
It's called intermittent. It's called intermittent explosive disorder. It's what it is.
And you know what, Mr. St. John? You know what's really sad about it Darlie's eating fin like candy. I got Basha Javel said she was drinking wine by the cases, which I believe she was.
There's even a video. There's a video where they're showing going through the house, old home video, and Darlie's sitting there drinking wine. And then the lady on Bond Street mentioned something about drinking a bunch of wine.
Yep. And I mean, you got to put this shit together, and it's not that I didn't put it together before, but I never felt as though that Darlie had postpartum psychosis, which I don't. But I'll bet my life she had postpartum depression. I'll bet my life on that. But I seen this shit with my own eyes, and the way I seen her acting, and when Basha Javel confirmed it, and at the Silly String video, I told Bonnie, she's a fucking lunatic. And it's sad because if she didn't have those postpartum, symptoms, she didn't have it, that probably never would have happened. Now, I don't know that.
Well, onset can be all of a sudden too. It's probably like, I think when she wasn't able to get out and wasn't able to shop, and she was writing to Darren about she might kill herself. That's the onset of it. That's where it started.
I believe that.
She did not get any treatment. She already had other little things that she wasn't happy with Darren about. But
it doesn't help when Darren's dicking around and playing his little I'm not gonna act like I'm 6 years old and sticking guns in her face and shit. I mean, Mr. St. John, I never put a gun on any of my wife's face, although I could think of a couple of them that I'd like to have done.
Did you ask Darlie if that actually happened?
Yes, and she said it did.
That he just put a gun.
She told me it happened at Test Neck, and then it happened at the house. Mm-hmm. That happened twice.
Basha mentioned about Darren keeping the gun at Test Neck too. I don't know if she told you that.
Yeah, well, it was at Test Neck. Darlie went in there. Darlie told me this. She told me herself. She said, "No, Rich, that did happen." I said, "Well, what happened?" She said, "Well, I went in there and I was asking Darren about some questions about the books and about the money, and I got argumentative with him, and he got mad, and he made a smart-ass fucking remark to me, and I'm quoting Darlie. He made a smart-ass fucking remark to me, and I picked up a Rolodex, and I whipped it at his fucking face. And it hit him, and he grabbed the gun and put it right in her face."
Well, she had it coming then.
And Darlie said she told Darren, you're not going to do anything with that. And then he just put it down.
Yeah.
And I guess all these people say, well, Darren never got violent. I'm sorry, Mr. St. John, that is violent.
Well, that is violent. But he got hit in the face with the Rolodex.
That's right.
So
that's what I'm saying.
So
there was violence.
He instantly, he wasn't going to shoot her. But there's another one where she said she wanted to leave him.
Sticking a gun in someone's face.
He put a gun to his own head, too.
That's right. Now, at the house, Darlie had told him. Darlie told me anytime she told him about a separation or a divorce, he'd act up. And I said, "What do you mean act up?" I said, "He hit you to give out?" "No, he never hit me."
Well, but check this out. She said every time I would talk to him about it.
I know. I get it, Mr. St. John.
I just want to see if you caught
that. And they were at the house. They were in the bedroom. And Darlie's like, "Darren, this just isn't working. You got this fucking boat. We're losing money. Now you say it needs fixed. Your car needs fucking fixed. I just want out of this marriage." And Darren said he got his gun and put it right in her fucking face. She said within an inch of her face is what she said. And Darlie's like, "Darren, get that gun out of my fucking face." And then she said Darren put the gun to his own head.
Yeah.
And she really thought he might do it because he started tearing up and shit. So she said that she kind of got the gun out of his hands and got him to calm down a little bit. "Oh, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay." But she told me anytime when she mentioned divorce, separation, anything, he would act, radically. So
then on June the 5th, in the late hours, she asked for a separation. And he says, "You know what, bitch? You got it." Didn't expect that, did she?
It's possible.
You got it. You know what? I want you out of my house tomorrow because I'm tired of you threatening me this way.
Well,
you got it.
You know what a bitch would do today with that situation, don't you?
You've killed, taken for every damn
the bitch
thing
would
you
get
own.
the guy removed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She couldn't
Damn
set,
right they
but there's
would.
no way for her to set it up to make it look. You know, let's. What if she really did consider killing the boys and killing herself, and she just failed to kill herself?
I mean, her wounds could have been fatal.
They could have been.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely could have been.
But I look at it like this though. The tree in the backyard could have fell off onto the couch and killed her too. It could have. I mean, I'm serious. I ain't trying to be funny. But could that not happen? Yeah, somebody told me.
The one tree on the side of the house did come down when the tornado went through the neighborhood.
Somebody did say, you know, they said that Darlie almost died. Well, she did not almost die. She got the proper medical help now. If 911 wouldn't have showed up and she'd laid there, she would have died. But the only way that she was going to die after she called the paramedics is if the ambulance slammed into a tree on the way to Baylor. They had her covered.
But I wonder why she just didn't finish the job before she started screaming for Darren and calling 911. I mean, she must have had a really abrupt change in plans for some reason.
Yeah, so if it was a suicide, you're thinking, okay, she realizes she failed. So why wouldn't she just go ahead and put the knife right through her own heart? Is that what you mean?
Well, maybe because the knife wounds were hurting too bad.
Yeah, well, Jodi Arias said the same thing, that she went to commit suicide and she slashed her wrist in one spot and then she would put it up to her throat and was going to do her throat, but she stopped because it hurt.
Yeah. Of course,
that's just a theory of, like.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can't prove it, but there's a lot of things that can't be proved. But
why? I mean, I can't figure out why her anger went to the boys and not to Darren. Because Darren could have went to sleep and she could have walked right upstairs and sliced his ass up too.
Well, Mr. St.John, if you look at me and Melissa, I mean, yeah, I was going out and doping up and shit, but she knew it. I mean, it's not like I was doing it behind her back. And she wasn't mad at me the night she killed herself. She was telling me how much she loved me.
That's crazy.
It's the psychoticness of the moment. And you know, I hope to God that I don't think you'll ever have to. I don't think you're planning on having any more kids. We're not very young anymore, but I just hope to God that your daughters never have to experience that, because
I tell you, we have evidence in her own writing that the thought of killing herself has come across her mind to the point where she was opening packages of pills and writing about it. She was writing about it in a book.
Yeah, they were under the bed. They were under the bed.
Yeah, she didn't think anybody was ever going to see that journal. Her truest and most intimate thoughts are in that journal. She didn't really even write in it that long. She only went through it a few months. It's too bad she didn't.
Well, see, somebody had to tell her to start doing that. People just don't start writing journals. I had somebody very wise tell me one time, whatever you do, make sure you be careful what you put down on paper, because what you put on paper, it makes sure it's fit for everybody to read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of therapists will tell you to journal your day, but you won't look at it. I wouldn't look at it like Darlie was seeing a therapist, because her journal was so positive. It was positive.
Yeah, but I think the prosecution would have found that. If she was seeing a therapist, I mean, that would have been a gold mine of the prosecution's case.
They can't do anything with it because it's the same thing as attorney-client privilege with the therapist.
Well, they still can subpoena the records.
Well, look, they keep saying that Darlie had no mental health problems. We don't know that.
Well, she was never diagnosed.
She had undiagnosed.
Yeah, and it could have been like that.
How would you
I
feel
mean,
if you? How would you feel if you just run in your house one day and saw that Bonnie wrote a note that she was thinking about killing herself? What would you think?
um,
She needs some help.
well, yeah, I mean, Bonnie does suffer from depression,
Right.
and she misses her kids, she misses her boys a lot.
Yeah.
And so she does get depressed at times. But yeah, if I thought that she was a threat to herself, oh, absolutely, without question, I would force her to get help.
And you got to look at the self-centeredness of Darlie as well. She's 26 years old. She's got all the money in the world, right? She's got housekeepers and babysitters to help her with the house and the kids. Her husband is young and successful and works all day long at their own company. Yet she doesn't have the wherewithal. She just can't seem to maintain that house and those two kids. And she needs to call him, her support, the one that's supporting her, all of this lovely stuff that she's got. She needs to call him to tell him that he needs to come home and help.
But well, I've been told by quite a few people that Devin was an extremely hyperactive child. I mean, almost to like a severe ADHD
Well, look,
kind of thing.
look, and here's to confirm it. Every clip you see of Devin, he's doing flips in the yard. He's acting
Oh
goofy
yeah,
on the steps. There's a picture of
yeah,
him swinging at Damon and standing in the doorway like they're punching each other. Yeah, and
yeah,
even in the video where they're at medieval times, he's throwing that stuffed animal up in the air.
yeah,
Every single
yeah,
video you see of Devin, he's like that. Everyone.
yep. That's very
And
true.
Damon's a little bit more like Damon. In the pictures, he's just kind of looking at the camera. He's not really doing. He's not even showing out for the camera. They got one where he's.
Well, I was told that Damon, Darlie told me that Damon was a mama's boy.
Yeah.
And he was very quiet, very reserved. We all know this.
Yeah.
And but he always wanted to be so much like his brother. But he wasn't his brother.
Yeah.
And it's very sad. It's really horrible. And
I asked AI the other day to do. I did an age progression on Devin.
I seen it.
Did you see it?
I seen it.
It
Yes,
took
I
it a
did.
while to do it. The AI thing took about 35 minutes for it to finish it up. But it does look
Well,
like them. It doesn't look like that's what they would look like.
well, yeah, they look like Drake. Well, I'm going to tell you what. Damon, I think, looks more like Darlie,
Yeah.
but Devin and Drake, oh my God, he looks just like, they both look just like Darren.
And Drake's tall and skinny though.
Yeah, Drake, yeah, he's a real tall guy. He's like 6'4", Brian.
I know he's out in Colorado somewhere with that. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
Lacey or that other girl he was with.
I don't remember the town, but yeah, he's in Colorado. And the last I heard, Darren went up there with him.
Yeah, Darren has got his address changed over to a warehouse. So wherever they're at, Darren's making sure to not put his address out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and Drake's, from what I understand, Brian, Drake's doing really good. I have been told over the years that he's got a severe marijuana problem, but I don't know.
Only time there's a marijuana problem is when you run out. You can only get so high. You know what I'm saying? You can
Well,
smoke
you can say that
17
about
joints.
anything.
You can smoke 17 joints in a row and be just as high as if you smoke one. So it's not
Yeah,
really
that's
not
true.
really a problem.
Yeah. And but his girlfriend Nicole, real pretty girl, and they got engaged not too long ago, so they're planning on getting married here coming up. And
I think they went right to the same spot where uh, Darren claims to have proposed to Darlie over there in Purgatory. He did the same thing with Cindy Black at the same spot. I wonder if Drake went over there.
I don't know. I haven't heard that.
It was in Purgatory, Colorado.
I'll be goddamn.
And he took Cindy Black to the same place.
Well, I mean, I wish the best for him. I feel horrible for him. I really do. And but I'm going to tell you something that Darlie Key told me, Mr. St. John. Nobody knows this. She said that when he was a teenager, the Darren would leave him like weeks on end at home by himself, and she would call Darlie Key, or meaning he would, Drake.
Yeah.
He'd call Darlie Key, and somebody's trying to break into the house. Oh my God, I hear noises. Something's not right. Grandma, you got to help me. And she said that Darren would leave him alone for weeks on end.
Yeah.
So I don't know the truth behind that. I'm
Well,
just
I
telling
mean,
you what I was told.
Darren's grown. He can do what he wants.
Yeah. Well, I
know he got a bunch of money and he sold that ranch for $869,000.
Yeah. So I mean, he probably retired. But I mean, who knows? I don't really know. But I was told that Drake has the tendency to go off the deep end once in a while, mentally.
Can you blame him?
No, not at all. Not at all.
If he'd have been downstairs, he'd have been dead.
Yeah.
If he'd have been in that crib that they had set up in that other room for him, he'd have been dead. If it wasn't for white carpet, he'd be dead.
Now, I was going to say, yeah, if he had been downstairs that night, he'd been killed too.
Right. The only reason she didn't put him in there is because of the white carpet. It was for show.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, it had to be with Darlie. It had to be an impulse of psychoticness that just something tipped her over the edge. You're even saying some possible suggestions, but it had to be based on impulse. It's still premeditated, but impulse.
That's why the staging didn't work. I honestly believe, me and Pam honestly believe that when Darren came back after Dana, a little shit started there, and then she probably told him, "I'm just done with this shit. I want you. I'm done." And Darren probably told her, "All right, fucking, that's it. You're out of here."
Could be.
And then what? If she didn't expect that kind of a turnaround from Darren, he tells her to fuck off. I want you out of my house. And then he goes and stomps upstairs because he don't want to be violent. He don't want to fight with her. Right? So she's down there boiling.
I guarantee you they weren't being all lovey-dovey like they said they were. I don't believe that for a fucking minute.
How can you talk about one? If my wife just asked me for a separation, I'd be pretty pissed off at her.
Fucking A right.
I won't say, "All right, dream about me," and then go to bed. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, fuck that. I'd be trying to fix it.
That's the most ridiculous thing.
Wouldn't you be trying to fix it? If Bonnie came to you and told you that she wanted a separation right now, wouldn't you be trying to fix it?
Yeah. First of all, I'd be asking what the fuck did I do wrong, and then secondly, I'd be wanting to repair.
Right. So Darren writes this thing up and says that she asked for a separation, which it seems like he would try to fix the situation. But I don't know. Whatever it was, when he went to bed, she was down there pissed off. Period.
Yeah.
And I don't think she might have just impulse. Nothing against.
Yeah, it just one of the momentary lapse of impulse. It had to be, and you look at the boys' autopsy reports. See, something else don't make sense. They said Darlie made dinner that night. The boys ate, and then they said that Darlie popped popcorn that night. And they were eating popcorn, and they had a drink with it. A children's drink. I don't know, it was water, Kool-Aid, pop, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're eating popcorn and shit. Well, goddamn, Mr. St. John, that's not what the autopsy report shows.
I don't know how digestible the popcorn is, though. That's the thing. One thing that's interesting about Buncha.
Devin didn't even have anything in his stomach.
Well, one thing that's interesting about Buncha is if you listen to her close about that night, that one boy wanted to stay over, the Jonathan. She was talking about that, and she said that she said no, Jonathan couldn't stay over because her and the boys are going to have a movie night. So she already had it planned. She already had it planned for them to be downstairs.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if she had a plan to kill them at that point.
Well, why would they on the TV on the shows that we see, they say the boys decided they wanted to stay down here and they went upstairs and got their blankets. She says it like that. She doesn't say we had a movie night planned. That's why they were down there.
Well,
think about it.
I don't know. I'm going to tell you what, because I don't think Darlie slept a wink after Darren went upstairs. I think she sat there with the wheels turning.
Yeah.
You know, prior to the killing, she's sitting there. Her wheels are turning. How can I do this? How can I do this? And maybe I shouldn't do it. You know, maybe she's getting. You know.
And what is she promising Darren? What is she promising him?
Yeah.
Why is she worried? Why is she worried about? Why is she worried about material things that haven't been touched? That shouldn't even have came out of her mouth. There's nothing touched.
Yeah, it wouldn't have come out of mine.
Who cares? They could have had anything in the house.
Yeah.
There's nothing touched.
Yeah.
And just, you know, the logic, if you like, it's her case. It can seem logical to some people, but if you really break it down and look at the big picture, you know, she doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense for a random person to come in and do that. When we have a person that's already showing problems in her marriage, wanting to kill herself, it just doesn't make any sense for someone randomly to come in there like that.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And we know...
Well, there's no evidence supporting it.
Right, and we know that the insurance scam was just a ploy from the family, in my opinion. Just a ploy from the family around 2002. They thought that they were going to get a new trial based on the transcripts. That didn't happen. All of a sudden, the judge just said, nope, that's not happening. But in that time, they've got Robbie Jean Key, Darren writing these affidavits, right? And they thought that if she got a new trial and they put that affidavit in there, well, didn't you write this that you asked some people to break in your home? And then Darren would say, well, yeah, I did. You know, and then
why didn't Darren just tell the truth from the get-go? I mean, if his children were just murdered, I'd be fucking singing like a canary if I thought that I knew somebody that would have done it.
Well, what if behind the scenes, the family knows? Darlie says, look, I just freaked out. I don't know what happened. It was too late. There's nothing I can do about it now.
Right.
But what if they know that?
I believe it's something like that. I believe
because these lies that Danelle tells, I know you care for Danelle, but the way she's lying, it's fucking in your
Darlie
face.
Key does it too, Mr. St.John.
Who?
Darlie Key.
Darlie Key doesn't come on Facebook for us to see it anymore because we used to tear her ass up.
I know what she's told me.
We used to tear her ass up.
And when I was asking her questions about Buncha about the initial interview that you did with her years ago, which was probably one of the best interviews on the whole case, by the way.
10 years.
I was running through question at everything Darlie Key would say. Oh, she's lying. Why would she lie about why? You know, I mean, she was friends with Darlie. She told me on the phone. She said, you know, Rich, I still love Darlie, but I would never want anything to do with her because of what she did.
That's the falling out.
Yeah.
That's the big falling out. She killed her kids. That's the falling out. You guys kept saying, saying that Buncha did this and she did that, and they had a big falling out, and Buncha was this. I understand.
I'm correcting a lot of this stuff.
Right. Well, you didn't know.
You know, if I would have been able to talk to Buncha 7 years ago, it would have made all the difference in the world. But I understand it. I get it. I know why.
It ruined her life.
I know it did.
And she suffers mentally because of Darlie.
She really does.
She talks about the nightmares. And when we're standing there at the gravesite, she says, oh, I remember going swimming with the boys. And sometimes I go to sleep and I wake up and I think they're there. And I wake up and I realize they're gone. That's what she said. She said that.
It's so horrible. Yeah.
And here, everything was fine. And then all of a sudden, the shit's going downhill. And all this happens, and Beja's watching it. And nobody believes the damn word Buncha is saying. Darren, you need to get her help. Mama Darlie, you need to get her help. Nobody.
Well,
you don't want to. You don't want to.
And I really believe that's why she was very reserved on the things she said at trial, because she did love Darlie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then, but I believe everything she told me. I don't think there was one thing that she told me that was inaccurate. And you know, she's telling me about the stick, and you know, I believe that now, because she bursts into tears when she talks about it. And I told her after, I said, okay, Basha, we need to take a break. I said, I'm not here to upset you. I don't.
Look, now let me slow you down. The way that Basha bursts into tears when she talks about those boys, that's what we should have seen. That's what we should have seen at the graveside interview with their mother. That's what we should.
Yeah.
That's what we should have saw. But we saw a head bopping back and forth. If you knew Devin and Damon, I mean, that was the most. That was weird. Everybody thinks, oh, look at her, but here she's got the opportunity to explain to the public what this guy might have looked like. Here's a number for you to call. This officer's working on anything you can do. We got to catch this guy. She didn't say that once.
Yeah.
She said the police have got this. We're not going to go in. We're not going to go into that right now while we've got the nation's attention.
You could clearly tell she wasn't in her right mind, Mr. St.John.
Well, you know, like I said, Patterson had stopped them at the Home Depot just an hour or so before that.
Yeah.
And he was trying to make them think that they had a suspect. Right? So then you lighten up. Your mood changes and you get a little easy because you think you're getting away with it. Because he just told them about 2 hours before that they had a suspect and that they're getting close. And Darlie's thinking, well, he didn't arrest me right then and there, so they must think somebody else did this shit.
Yeah.
And then she's at that silly string party like, I'm gonna get away with this. I didn't mean to do it, but I'm gonna get away with it.
Well,
I don't think she meant to lose her fucking mind
and
kill her kids.
It was probably something like that too, Brian.
Yeah.
You know, I really didn't mean to do it. I did it. I was mad. I shouldn't have done it, but you know, I got to try to get out of this. You know, because
she was to come out right now. If she was to come out right now and say that, I bet half of the non-supporters would say, "Okay, let's take the death penalty off of it. Just let her live her life in prison." Now. She admitted it.
Yeah.
You're gonna get her one day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I just can't support it anymore. A
lot of us are kind of hoping that she doesn't pass away natural causes in there before she gets, you know. I mean, we look at it like this. The death penalty is like this. You got to think of it like this. I mean, some days I'm for it, some days I'm not. But the last thing Devin saw was his mother killing him. Damon might have had to see Devin being killed. So
I'm sure he did.
He may have, he might not have. But so for her to be laying on that gurney, waiting for a needle, it's a lot more humane than the way Devin and Damon had to die.
Well, I agree with you. But
is it going to hurt Darlie Key and all them? Yes, and that's what's not fair. It's not fair to them.
Well, and Darlie, let me count. 3. Darlie Lynn has 3 nieces, 1 great niece, and 4 nephews, and which I know they really care about. Some of them visit her.
Yeah.
And you know, then they gotta suffer with that. Yeah. And you know, when Danelle's granddaughter was born, what a beautiful baby, by the way, Brian. Yeah. Oh yeah, she's cutie. And
she's a mixed baby, isn't she?
No, she isn't.
That may be Dana. I don't know. I always thought that Brooklyn was with a black guy.
Well, Dana might have been. I don't know if she is or not, but all her kids are white because I met every one of them.
Yeah.
They're really strange, Mr. St. John.
No, because when I was chatting with Brooklyn, she seemed like a level-headed,
No, I'm not talking about Brooklyn. I'm talking about Dana's kids.
No, Dana's. I don't know any of Dana's kids.
Them kids are weird. I met them all. They're weird, Mr. St. John. God, I hate to say that. I really do, because I feel really bad for Dana, because I think Dana knows what happened that night. I believe Dana thinks Darlie did it. I really believe that. And I do believe that Dana loved those little boys. And
sure she did.
I think she's got severe self-guilt. I believe that, Darren was getting her dope. I really believe that. Maybe. I really believe that.
Yeah.
And I do believe that Darren was probably fucking her.
I don't know if Dana, but here's the thing. That means Dana would actually have to lay down and open her legs up for him, and that's her sister. So would Darren do it? Yeah, he probably would. But would Dana actually do it?
Yeah, he probably would.
But would Dana actually do that?
Well, I'm going to tell you something that Danelle told me, and I'm going to quote Danelle. She said Dana has always been a very promiscuous woman.
Well, that's obvious.
Yeah, and I mean,
been,
whatever. I don't hate her for it. No, but
her name was Dana Hartman at one time. Then it was Dana Gist, and now it's a different one. What is it now? What's Dana's last name now?
I don't recall.
Well, I remember when I talked to her on Facebook.
She got divorced again.
Yeah, her name was Dana Gist.
Yeah, she got divorced again.
And
so
she was she was also a Dana Hartman.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah, she's been married and divorced 3 times. So have I. So I mean, I'm not judging, but man, her kids are fucked up, Mr. St. John. I feel bad. I feel horrible for them. I shook all their hands. Had conversations with them. Danelle's kids, on the other hand, they're pretty straight and forward. They're doing pretty goddamn good now.
I bet you Danelle's a damn good mother. I bet she is.
I think she is. I think she is. Yes. I think Brooklyn's has taken a few walks on the wild side, because I can just tell. All but right, her other daughter is actually, yeah, that's her. Me and Bonnie had a conversation with her, because she come over and started talking to us, because she come over and hugged me, and she said, "Thank you so much for coming here." And I told her, I said, because I went to her graduation party too.
Oh yeah.
I told her, I said, "Your Aunt Darlie would have loved to have been here today." She said, "I know that." And I took them gifts and shit. I actually got some pretty nice shit. But anyway, I had a private conversation with Peyton, with Bonnie, and we got to talking a little bit. And she just got out of high school. She was just going into nursing school. Yeah. And I told her, I said, "Make sure you behave yourself." I said, "Don't be getting involved in nothing stupid now." I said, "You got a real chance, And she goes, "Listen, I don't have boyfriends, and I don't want boyfriends." She goes, "I just got, a loan to buy a car. I'm 19, and, I'm going to college full time, and I'm working full time, and I'm going to buy my own house before I even get a boyfriend."
That's right.
Because things are going to go my way.
Good.
And I told her, I said, "Well, good for you." I said, "I'd like to hear more stories like that out of people." And I'm going to tell you, she was as serious as a heart attack.
That's right.
Really a nice, polite young woman.
Good.
Her and Danelle look like clones, by the way.
Yeah, and, another one to talk about, yeah.
Oh, Peyton, oh my God.
Just
and
like
then,
her.
Oh yeah.
Danelle was the cutest little girl. She was very.
Oh yeah. And then her son, Danelle's son, he's a young guy. You got 3 girls. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, there
Mr.
you go.
St. John, I could not believe the first time I met him, he was like 8.
Yeah.
I could not believe how well behaved that child was. I couldn't believe it.
Because Danelle,
I never seen an 8-year-old.
How long have you known? How long have you known Danelle
though? Well, we talked on the phone a long time before we actually met.
Right.
But been a few years, a couple of years, anyway.
My first argument with her was probably 12 years ago.
Yeah.
When I called to speak with Darlie Key, I had Darlie Key's number.
Yeah.
And she intercepted the phone, and she was calling me mental ill and shit back then.
I heard the conversation. You recorded it and put it on YouTube. I heard it.
Yeah, right when Danelle took the phone, I just hit the record, and
yeah.
And if she wouldn't have grabbed that phone and took it away from or answered it because she saw my number on it, she pretended like she didn't know me, but she knew my number. But
yeah,
Darlie Key would have talked to me. She would have. When I was really trying to make it where there wasn't no more fighting, and Darlie Key would have talked to me. She's talked to me in fake profiles before, but Danelle wanted to intercept. Well, she don't want to talk to you. Oh, how do you do that? I said, we're trying to work through this. She goes, I don't know what's going to make you happy to move on with your life. I said, I will when they execute that bitch. And then I was like, oh, God, I shouldn't have said that. But, Danelle.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not going to be happy if Darlie gets
we all slip up sometimes, Mr. St.John.
Well,
so passion that gets in the way. I
shouldn't have said that to her. But you don't call somebody mentally ill, and you don't intercept phone calls when my intention was good. I wasn't calling there to bother Darlie Kid. I was calling there because she had posted that she really wished all the non-supporters and supporters, she wished all the fighting would stop. So I thought, okay, I'll call her and let's figure it out how we can do this. And she would have talked to me, but no.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Like Danelle's not doing TikToks as much as she was before. I think it's because she knows she's getting caught in her lies. She had a lot of people that were believing, and she was lying, Rich. If you go back and watch, she is lying.
I know, Mr. St. John. I get it.
Go back and watch. I'm not making anything up. You can see it for yourself,
well,
and you probably have.
And if she was that innocent, nobody should have to lie about anything.
Well, Rich, how's she going to come on 2020 and say that Darlie lost half her blood?
Well, her hemoglobin, I think it was her hemoglobin. It was low.
It was low, but not that low.
Yeah, but it was low.
It was low.
But I mean,
not alarming low.
I mean, Christ in heaven. I mean, she did lose a significant amount of blood.
But she didn't even have severe blood loss. She had serious blood loss, but not severe.
Well, serious is still serious.
But it's not 50. It's not 50% of your blood though.
No, and then when you're talking, but see, that's Darlie Key, Mr. St. John. Mm-hmm. That's not Danelle. That's Darlie Key.
Danelle's a nurse, and she knows what superficial means.
Well, that's right. That's right. But Darlie Key fills her head with shit.
Well,
about the case that's not true.
I mean, Danelle tried to convince me about the word superficial. And then it does.
I know.
And you saw that whole argument. No, that's not what they meant during the trial. They didn't mean it was a minor wound. Yes, they did. I said, now you're trying to tell me something that I do know for a fact because I read it. Dr. Dilwan said that the superficial means that it was a minor wound. Minor.
Yeah.
And she says, oh, no, it means it's directional. It's directional.
It's minor, but that stab wound of the arm was pretty severe.
That was a minor wound. It was a minor wound.
Well, I've seen that scar, Mr. St. John, a foot in front of my face. It still looks bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, she could have easily severed an artery or something in the arm. Evidently,
who knows?
She didn't.
Who knows why? In our world, why she didn't kill herself? A friend of mine. I'm telling you what, a friend of mine named Kelly. The cops were looking for him. They had him. He had been running for months, and they had him holed up in this house. And they were getting ready to come in on him. There's nowhere he could go. And he slit his throat. He slit his own throat. It didn't kill him. It cut him up pretty good. Yeah, that's it. And I need to bring his wife on here one time. I brought that up years ago, but he did it when they were coming in. He slit his throat. Sure did, his own throat. But suicide by throat slashing is a thing. It's a rare thing. It's rare.
Yeah.
But it does happen, and maybe that's what she was trying to do.
It's
I don't
pretty
know.
rare. It's pretty rare for mothers to butcher their children too, but that's what happened. So
you know, maybe she impulsively did what she did, and then came out of it and said, "Oh my God, I'm gonna have to kill myself, or I'm gonna have to set this up."
Yeah, I think it's what it was. When she's like, "Oh my fucking God, what did I just do?" You know.
Now here's the thing. The thing with people on the guilt side is the only way that they're gonna prove that she didn't do it is gonna have to be something that we don't already know about. Now, if the prosecution lied about something and we find out later on, it's not our fault we thought she was guilty. If there's some evidence that was withheld that we find out about later, it's not our fault that we think she's guilty. But we know there isn't any of that. But if they were to find her innocent, it would be because of some kind of evidence that we have not seen before. And if that's the case, then none of us were wrong.
I agree.
And if that's the case, none of us were wrong. No non-supporter was wrong. I didn't get pizza. Oh, I didn't get pizza. Wife wanted to know where the pizza was at, and she was about ready to fire me up. No, my daughter's boyfriend ordered pizza. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
heat up that meatloaf.
Yeah.
But maybe this weekend you can think about how you want to do it.
We could do it. We're doing it right now, but I mean, I'd like to get a little nasty about Antifa Anna.
Well, you better watch out. Steve's gonna come after you.
Oh yeah, I'm so scared of him, Mr. St.John. We have freedom of speech. We could talk about what the fuck we want. If they don't like it, they don't go.
She can. When she put up my son's the crime about my son's crime, she got that wrong. She only talked about it for 3 minutes. They found him in they found him in the closet at my son's house. And then she's over on Reddit swearing up and down that she did that.
I watched that trial, Mr. St. John, because you posted it. I watched it.
Yeah.
And I didn't enjoy it. I'll be honest with you. I felt horrible for you folks. I really did.
Well, I was doing true crime. I was doing true crime, so I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't put up my own trial. Period.
Well,
but
I don't think I could have done that. I give you credit for it. But
she's on Reddit telling everybody that she put up the video about my son before she ever knew me. I mean, it's right there on her Reddit. If you go through her Reddit, you'll really see. Look, I had all of these videos.
I don't want to go through a Reddit because all it's going to do is make me madder, and I gotta. I don't want to be mad because that bitch ain't worth it. And then her little cunt bitch ass boyfriend's going to try to threaten me. I'm not afraid of that little.
Now I'm going to tell you what else is going to happen. I'm going to predict this right away. Because I know what's going to happen. I've been through this. With Sully, this is what she's going to do. She's already contacted your family. What she's going to do is, if you've had any conversation with her in writing, through text, or anything that, where you're talking about us in any way, she's going to release it. So.
No, I can't recall.
Well, look, it would be perfectly natural.
That's serious.
Rich, it would be perfectly natural if you did, because you're on a different side. So if something comes up,
they fucking publish.
Yeah, she's going to publish. I expect weird emails because of this.
You mean one to you?
I expect a whole lot of Rich said this and Rich said that coming to me and Pam.
Oh, I see.
So,
well,
they're going to do it. They're going to do it. So I'm telling you now, I don't care.
Well,
it's only natural.
I know a lot of things. I know a lot of fucking things that I know that they wouldn't want to have come out.
Right.
So if they want to start fucking with
me,
I
They
could have
need
a
to keep.
heyday, and
Look,
I
if there
know
is,
they know that.
if
I
there is,
know they know that.
if there is anything like that, they need to keep it to themselves because it's not going to do nothing for Darlie. It's not going to make us mad at you because when you're in a group
Right.
of supporters, of course you're going to talk shit about non-supporters. Duh. Do we care?
I did, Mr. St.John. I didn't do it nearly like they did.
Right. Oh, I know how they are.
I didn't do it nearly as much as they did.
That's why when I
there
saw
were things that were said I didn't like. Yeah.
when I saw that post that Danelle left on her Facebook, lying her ass off about me, right? And then I went to see who liked it. I saw you liked it. Did you even read this?
That, Mr. St. John, I think that was an accident.
Yeah, it's all right.
Because, I would go through her stuff and I'd give it a thumbs up. We were pretty chummy back then. And I don't know if I just didn't read it. I don't recall it.
Yeah, Rich. If you were to browse through Facebook now and go back and look at that, it's still there. You know I did none of that. You know it.
Well, Mr. St. John, you've even asked me on a live one time. You asked me, do you think that I harassed them? I think was the word you used, and I said no.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
I
never went looking for him. I never went. Danelle came to try to kick our doors in, and she got her feelings hurt.
Yeah,
that's what happened. Don't come over here with that bullshit. Don't think you're going to tell us. We know. We don't need you. She thought we were going to see it her way, and it didn't. No.
I told her, when she decided to come above board to the world and start talking about the case, I said, "You sure you want to do that?" Yeah, why? And I said, "Well, you better be packing a big gun because you're going to get questioned."
If Darlie was really innocent, Rich, if Darlie was really innocent, the one that could put us non-supporters in our place would have been Danelle. And she fails at it worse than anybody I've seen. She's the worst one for misinformation. If that's her sister, she should know the case 100%. She should be able to convince anybody that Darlie's innocent, and she can't. All that Crime Weekly thing. Oh my God! I hope she learned her lesson.
Well, I don't think I don't know. I don't think Danelle seen like what the shit that Dana saw because Danelle was younger.
Yeah.
Danelle wasn't there, that day like Dana was when that happened. Dana seen more. Dana was involved with him more. Danelle was younger. She's hanging with friends and doing the little girl thing.
I'm talking about Danelle today. That's a nurse that's putting out medical information that's incorrect.
Well, that's because Darlie Keith fills her head with a bunch of bullshit. The first thing Danelle said when I was talking to Basha, was she just going to lie to you? I don't know, Danelle. When she talks to Mr. St. John, she sounds pretty sincere. No, I mean, you can talk to her if you want, do whatever you want there, but she's just going to lie to you.
Well, check it out, Rich. Here's the thing. If she says she's just going to lie to you, right? If Beja felt like she needed to lie to you, she would have told me, no, I don't even want to talk to the guy.
Yeah, why waste your fucking time? Yeah.
She didn't. She didn't feel like she was going to be interrogated by you either. She didn't.
Well, I don't think I interrogated her. I did ask her some questions, but I was very gentle about
it. Her daughter doesn't like her messing, even talking about this stuff again. She don't like it for her.
Well, it's probably not good for her. I told her. I said, listen, and you could ask her. I said, you need to go to the store, doctor's appointment. You want to go to the grave? Just let me know. Yeah. I said, I'll make the arrangements. I'll come get you. And, I'll take you. You need to go to the store, get medicine, go to the doctor. I'll take you. If you don't have nobody, I'll take you.
She don't.
I was very appreciative. And
she might call you one day,
and I told her, I'm like, listen, if I come pick you up and we go to the cemetery, we don't have to talk about the case. We can go there and, you can pay your respects. I can pay mine. It's, I'm not going to do that to you. I said, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to upset you. And she told me, she goes, well, you can ask me some questions. And I said, well, I promised Mr. St. John I wouldn't interrogate you. I said, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, she'll talk about. You just let her go. She'll talk about it on her own.
Well, she does, but she told me, like the one day she goes, I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk. Okay, that's it. We're done talking.
She does that
about
to me too. She'll say, I don't want to talk about it anymore right now. God bless you. Talk to you later. And then the next day.
Yeah, that's all.
But I told her, I said, I told her, I said, well, Rich decided, she goes, well, I didn't do anything. I don't know what I did. I said, well, I kind of figured. I thought that maybe if you talk to her, you could figure why is she lying? Why would she lie? She's got no reason to.
I don't think she's lying at all about anything.
No, she's got no reason to. None. She doesn't
no,
hate.
No reason to. Plus, what she says makes sense.
She doesn't hate Darlie. She hates what Darlie did.
Right.
And
she told me, she goes, I love Darlie.
Yeah.
She said, I'll always love Darlie. But I just can't accept the fact of what she did.
It's too bad you can't get one more visit with Darlie.
Oh, that might not be a good idea now, Mr. St. John.
Oh, yeah, she already knows.
Oh, I guarantee you she knows. Her and Danelle talk on the phone every day.
You think she's going to write you a nasty thing or? Probably
nah,
not.
I doubt it. She just probably won't respond. But it's what irritates me, though, Mr. St. John, the last 6-8 months, because I had talked to you. I did a podcast with you. They knew I was text chatting. We had some conversations over the phone.
Right.
They got really mad about that. And I know they told Darlie about it. And then Anna Sullivan told Darlie all the bullshit that she's putting out there about me. She went and wrote Darlie that. Well, Darlie won't even write me letters anymore.
You never told Darlie that you had talked to me before?
Who, Darlie Lynn?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, I told her.
Well, why would she be mad at you talking to me now?
I asked Darlie, I said, do you care if I put him on my podcast? But, I had done that with you, me, and Tara.
Yeah.
I said, you care if I do? She goes, I don't care. She goes, you can do whatever you want, but I don't know what good it's going to do, but you can do it. I said, all right, I'll do it then. I figured.
I mean, you guys you want to put us in our place, and I was reading that thing that you sent about Kathy and all of us being on a panel, and you typed out, well, I had them up there to debunk them. That was your intention, but it didn't work out that way. I mean,
no, it didn't.
No, I mean, if I didn't know this case and I watched that, I would think she's guilty as hell.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I made it very clear. Me and Kathy didn't do so well on the second one. I thought I'd get good on the first one with you, but come up against you and Pam, you better have some guns packed.
Well, on the first one, Rich, I just wanted to have a conversation. I didn't want to. I didn't want to go bickering, and I didn't do any of that because I was hoping there'd be more after that. But I just wanted to show that I could be behaved and we could have a good, decent conversation, and I was. And I did.
We've always had good conversation.
I did counter a few things the first time, but I did it with just like the way I did Kathy when she was going on about Darlie being filmed getting in in the ambulance. And
I knew that wasn't true. I never seen anything like that.
You notice how she didn't say.
I think she's mistaken. I think when they brought Devin out of the house early that afternoon on the gurney, the coroner's office, I think that's the video she's thinking of.
But she couldn't have been mistaken because when they brought him out, it was a white Cadillac. It was daytime. It wasn't an ambulance. It was daytime. If she's that mistaken as far as the car that they got took out, the time, daylight, nighttime, could she be mistaken about other stuff in Darlie's case?
Well,
I mean, I don't even know Darlie, and I can tell you that.
Look, I've never seen the video she's describing, and I don't think anybody else has.
Because it didn't happen. It just wasn't. The news was not there yet.
Yeah,
the news wasn't there. And she was trying to make a point by saying, "Yeah, I saw it when she got on." She was trying to make a point about something. I'm like, Kathy, that's never. I said, I said, I follow the UNT digital library, and they have everything that on the Darlie case that was ever put out media wise, and that's not in there, is what I said, and it's not.
Yeah, I remember.
And she didn't say anything else. She knew we got her. She didn't say nothing else about it. Oops.
Well, Mr. St.John, I am tired. I got to get up at 3:45.
All right.
And I got to do audits, and then I got the whole weekend off. So, but I'm be honest with you. I'm be straight up with you. Saturday, I'd like to rest because I am tired.
All right, I'm not gonna bother you. It's on your terms.
Well, no, you could text me or call me anytime you want, but maybe on Sunday.
All right. Well, yeah, write down.
Make sure Bonnie's not going to get mad and shit because she's not happy about the stance change. She's Danelle's trying to make. It's pissing me off. Danelle needs to mind her fucking business.
Danelle's trying to make Bonnie mad at you, ain't she?
Yeah. Oh, I'm really worried about Rich. I hope he's okay. I hope there isn't something wrong with him. I can't believe that he would turn on me and my family. I didn't turn on them.
Well, Rich,
I turned on Darlie.
Well, Rich, if they would have listened to me 6 months ago, I said, I blasted you 6 months ago. I said, look, he tells me that he's had doubts. You know, I was mad at you. And I said, he tells me that, and he tells Pam that. I did that 6 months ago. So if she didn't get, and I did it a couple times since then. So if she didn't hone in on that, because I don't lie. If I can help it, I don't lie.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, Bonnie's has not been quite the same since then, and I don't want her upset like that. And then she's in the shower, so I don't think she can actually hear me at the moment. But when we were sitting out here, and I asked if the other night if she wanted to play cards before went to bed. So I'm sorry, I just don't feel very close to you today. I'm like, whoa, I've never heard her say that to me before. We've been together over 10 years, so I don't. I'm just trying to let it simmer out a little bit.
Look at this. This is your response to her. Are we going to let Darlie Prater be a problem in our relationship?
Yeah, I pretty much said that.
Well, that's it. What your
and I told her, I said, if I said you're going to find out who all your true friends on the Darlie support side are now, because if they're real friends, they wouldn't abandon you. And I said, now all of a sudden, Kathy won't talk to you, Diana won't talk to you, and Danelle is trying to convince you that I'm fucking goofy.
Danelle's the one goofy. I
told Bonnie, I said you need to contact Danelle and tell her to worry about Anna, not worry about me.
I told Danelle one time that her sister and what her sister did has got her so stressed out. She's got black eyes from it, and she looked like a fucking raccoon.
Yeah.
Well,
she couldn't sleep.
I don't blame her.
Yeah, she couldn't sleep.
Danelle's never been. She's never said anything rude like that to me.
But
all right, I'll let you go to sleep then.
Yeah, but I don't really appreciate Danelle doing that. Look, how about if I contact your husband and say, how dare you cheat on Danelle, you fucking piece of shit? How about if I do that? Because I don't think she'd fucking appreciate that.
They'll keep pushing you. Watch. They're going to keep pushing you.
Well, I ain't going nowhere, Mr. St. John. You can take it to the bank.
Bonnie will buck up and say, look, we can be friends, but we're not talking about my husband, period. And she'll do that.
Or Darlie.
She'll do that. Watch.
Yeah.
But eventually they'll stop talking to her too. They're going to start the bashing. It's going to commence.
Oh yeah.
I know. Hopefully Diane and Kathy still talk to you though.
Well, they haven't. So, but I haven't tried to contact them either. But I haven't heard a thing from them. And I used to get between anywhere average 20 to 40 texts a day from the both of them.
Yeah.
I get nothing now. Get nothing. So, all right, Mr. St. John. Hey, I'll be in touch with you for sure.
All right, talk to you later.
Maybe plan for Sunday.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.